I want to touch a little bit on a couple points that were mentioned in the previous panel and expand on some of those concepts because that really underlines the DNA of what we're doing with Modex. We were talking about jurisdictional issues and we were talking about the potential of this industry. From our perspective, there is an immense amount of value that has been pent up and an immense amount of innovation that is now hitting the industry, in the form of blockchain. And what I'm talking about here is there's been an imbalance, right? There's been an imbalance of power and an imbalance of the creation of value that cryptocurrencies, I think, really first set out to innovate, and that really underpins the revolution within this technology. And from our perspective, the industry is still existing in a silo. Right now, we have not reached mass adoption. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology alike is still limited in terms of deployment. And so we see a major need in the industry is a marketplace that will help bring decentralized applications into a much wider framework of adoption and therefore connecting the development community with the business community and the end users that will ultimately benefit from this technology. So specifically going into the nature of the problem, we're focused on smart contract adoption specifically. As I've said, it's limited at this point. If you want to go out and contract smart contract developers, you're still going to experience high costs. There's poor resources. There's really only small groups of talent that knows how to do this. And the process, is still gaining trust and user friendliness in terms of access from traditional enterprise and SMEs to use this technology. So, what are we doing about it? At Modex, we are launching the Smart Contract Marketplace, which is, as I said, a place to connect developers with the end users. And it's an application ecosystem to make smart contracts accessible, deployable, provide cost savings, developer tools, and a trusted centralized marketplace for the developers to launch their code, peer review one another, pen test, and ultimately integrate those dApps into user-friendly applications that will benefit end users. So this is the flowchart of our marketplace. On the left you can see the developers initiate the smart contracts, and they can do that in any number of ways. They can create a dApp that is plug and play, ready to go, or they can be approached by an enterprise or a company on the other end of the marketplace who wants something more customized. After the dApp is created, it moves into a testing and an approval phase where it's peer reviewed and pen tested and goes through standard best practices before it's then published and marketed on the marketplace. At that point, it's sold, and it is then implemented in the application or corporate environment that's going to use that smart contract. MDX is our utility token. This will be the token that's used to facilitate the transactions in our ecosystem. And so you can see below the pathway for how that works in terms of the exchange. A portion of the fees that run through the marketplace will go back into community development fund to support strategic projects and smart contracts that the marketplace and development community wants to prioritize. Our revenue model is very simple. 70% of the transactions go right to the developers for the creation, auditing, pen testing. 15% goes back to the company, and 15% goes into the community pool for ongoing strategic development that's self-led by the community. So our tech stack. Modex is a centralized application. That's what you'll see with the with the middle layer. And we are a centralized marketplace that works together with decentralized applications, so dApps and smart contracts. Obviously, we will be starting with the Ethereum protocol as they have the most critical mass in the space. However, we recognize that a number of other up-and-coming protocols that have a lot of potential that will also be supporting smart contracts need to work in our marketplace as well. And so that's a really important part of our roadmap. You know, and again, this ties back to what I was saying in the beginning of my talk, which is, you know, there's an opportunity here, and I think in some ways there's a bit of a dogma. I was having a conversation last night with a colleague at dinner, and the dogma is, you know, that this decentralization is the be-all, end-all, and everything needs to go decentralized. But really, there's an opportunity for centralized applications and centralized organizations like governments and regulatory bodies to work together with decentralized applications and really bridge a gap that will unlock a lot more value. And so our tech stack reflects that, and I like to draw attention to that because I think it's kind of neat. On the top layer, you'll see different verticals. These are just examples. So fintech, insurance, real estate, any different sector that can apply smart contracts and deploy them in their business to leverage the value. So a little bit more about us, the genesis of our company. Modex Smart Contract Marketplace is the second product we'll be launching. MoneyMailMe is our social payments, multi-currency, peer-to-peer transaction app. We were awarded the best social payments app in UK for 2017. You know, we've developed this product. We have built a really big team of developers to do so, and yeah, we've had really fantastic reception by the market thus far, and that company has now birthed Modex. And the reason we did that is because we saw the need to deploy smart contracts within our own application, which is a fintech application. And instead of just doing that for ourselves, we decided, hey, there's really an opportunity here to launch this marketplace in tandem and use our MoneyMailMe application as our strategic fintech deployment tool for smart contracts that are fintech focused in the peer-to-peer money space. So right now on our application, you can donate to causes, do money transfers, video calls, chats, and the next step in our roadmap is deploy smart contracts as well. So our go-to-market strategy, this is quite simple. You know, we're about creating more access and making it easy and building trust, both on the development end of the spectrum and on the corporate and SME end of the space. And we do that by providing really high quality developer tools and unique incentive programs for both ends of the ecosystem. So, as I said, we're doing an ICO. This is an overview of our use of funds. You know, primarily we're focused on R&D, marketing of different kinds, and business development. There's a lot more on this in our white paper, and we'll be publishing more on this on our website as well. So our team has really amazing people. I'm really delighted to be working with this group of people. Mihai Vascu, who couldn't be here today, he's our CEO, and he's based in London and Monaco. And what you don't see on this team slide is about 40 plus developers that we have in Romania. I think about 10 seasoned executives who are on our advisory board and help us with our governance. These are people with experience from a number of Fortune 100 companies, venture capital, and you know, and have managed successful product launches of billion-dollar revenue streams. So we're delighted to have the support that we have, and I want to tip my hat to those guys who've really helped make this happen. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to come over and visit us at our booth. I'd be happy to talk with you about what we're up to. And my colleague Otto, he's our head of product. He's here as well, and he has a lot to say on the matter. So thank you.